Good afternoon, this is Bob Iaccino coming to you from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago. Talking metals, got to talk about copper again. Copper down almost 3.5% on its lows, down about 3.18 as we get in toward the end of the trading day. Biggest down day in almost 3 weeks. July 11th was the last time we were down this much. We didn't really close on the lows, closed near the lows on that day. And the interesting thing is since July 1st, we've had 3 days of down over 3% from open to the low. So it's been, continued to be pretty weak in copper. Three of the last 5 sessions have been down, and we're pretty close to having our 6th of the last 7 weeks down in copper. It's only Wednesday, but it's been a pretty bad week for the electricity conducting metal. Now, it accelerated lower. It started off lower, but accelerated lower when the conversation of new tariff threats came out. President Trump tweeted out that he's considering raising some of the tariffs on $200 billion in Chinese goods from 10% to 25%. And that sent a weak copper even lower, again, pushing it down as far as we saw it today, down into that lower 270 range. So again, China responded by saying the U.S. needed to be less aggressive with their rhetoric in order for them to even come back to the table. China being the biggest consumer of copper, that's where we get that weakness in copper. And we've already seen some decent data out of China, but lately the 2 ISM figures that came out 2 days ago for China were weak. The manufacturing number was weak, the new orders was weak, and we also saw that in the U.S. as well today. ISM was weaker. The headline number wasn't that much weaker, but on the new orders and on the prices paid, both much lower than expected. So U.S. isn't really slowing yet. We saw a good ADP figure. The labor story for the U.S. is still pretty strong, but China looks like it might be starting to suffer, and it could be just from the early stages of these tariffs. So that tariff threat pushed copper even harder than it was already down. We had a slightly stronger dollar today. The normally inverse relationship between the dollar and commodities really had no effect on commodities today. It did no help to make commodities move up at all. Crude oil was down pretty handily as well. Gold was also slightly lower. The dollar was only slightly stronger though, a little bit less than 0.25% on the dollar index. This is Bob Iaccino talking about a very weak copper market from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago.